Hey there, friends. Hope you're all staying cool out there today because a lot of the world is really hot right now. I sure will be glad when we start getting some cooler temperatures around here, but we're not going to get any cool weather for at least another 2.5 months. So just got to grin and bear it, I suppose. But today I wanted to talk about berries, beets, and turmeric. And these are plant-based essentials as well. If you're starting to see a pattern developing, if you just go put the videos together of the things that I have every day, pretty good framework of stuff right there. This is kind of a follow-up companion to the greens and purple cabbage video I did the other day. Because let's start with the berries. First of all, the reason the berries and the reason I try to get them every day is the people that I respect, the people that I listen to, and from everything that I've seen, is they are to the fruit world what broccoli sprouts are to the vegetable world. In other words, they're incredible antioxidant. Might be the most. I think the berries are probably the healthiest, highest in antioxidant fruit that we have out there. And in particular, blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. It's that dark color. It's that bright, it's that dark kind of purplish color. But don't discriminate against the strawberries. Strawberries are good too, and they're healthy for you as well. But those three, the blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, have the highest antioxidant activity of commonly consumed fruit. Even more so, or even maybe right around the same. People argue if they're healthier than the pomegranate when it comes to antioxidants, but eat them both. Eat them both. I don't eat pomegranates all that much just because we don't have them. I don't see them around here that often. But also, too, the berries are very high in fiber. They're very high in fiber, which is something that we need more of every day. Most of America forget about the different vegetables and fruits and this and that and all the nutrients and components. The main ingredient that most people are missing is most people are deficient in fiber. So trying to get more fiber is never a bad thing. And the berries also have strong anti-inflammatory properties as well, so you can't go wrong on berries. One little note that I'll throw in here before I move on to beets is that berries are one of the fruits that I do try to make a real effort to get organic. Because they are part of the dirty dozen. I mean, the skin is right there. You're eating the skin. I'm not saying I'm not going to eat them sometimes if they're not organic, but I do try to keep organic blueberry. I try to keep some berries around here all the time. My local Publix is pretty good for getting organic blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries and blackberries. I don't have the blackberries as much, although I guess I could make them in smoothies or what have you. The main reason I don't is because I got really bad teeth, and I hate those are the smallest, tiniest seeds, and it's almost impossible to eat blackberries without getting some seeds stuck in your teeth. But berries, get some of those berries. The beets. I have been on a beet kick lately, and I'm going to stay on that beet kick. I know how healthy beets are for you. I've talked about how healthy beets are for you, but they're just something that I'm trying to include, not necessarily daily, but I keep them in the house, and I try to have them, as much as possible. What that translates over to is maybe 4 times a week, sometimes maybe 5 times a week. And beets are one that I like in different forms. I like them cooked, and I like them raw. In fact, I had some steamed beets for lunch today. Yesterday, I had some beets in a smoothie, that smoothie that I shared on here. Sometimes I forget in the order in which I shared them, but if you missed those, you need to go back and check out a couple of those, the 2 recent smoothie videos that I shared. They're very short, get straight to the point, but the beets are great for you. They've been linked to improved heart health, the ability to reduce blood pressure, and enhanced exercise capacity. And that's because beets tend to oxygenate the blood. And there's a lot of good, if you want to read more about that, just go out there and Google beets oxygenation, blood oxygenation, and athletes. And you'll see some of the studies out there that people have actually showed that they've been able to get more oxygenation into their bloodstream by that. And one of the reasons, yeah, I'm reading from my notes. Y'all know I can't remember things and store things away. One of their many of their benefits are due to their high content of inorganic nitrates. Those nitrates are so important. I've been learning more about the nitrates through the breathing reading that I've been doing about how we create nitrates on our own. So beets, got to get them. And they're also high in potassium, which is potassium is important. Especially during the summer. Potassium helps keep us going. We need that potassium in relation to the sodium. So get those beets and eat them any way you can. Juice them, steam them, put them in smoothies, but just eat them. They're so good and they're not expensive. And turmeric. Turmeric is something that I have really started using more and more over the last few months. And I just incidentally put it in stuff like I think I did. God, I forget where things are sometimes. When I was talking about the collards, somebody asked me how I season things, and turmeric is something that I put on a lot of things. Whether I put turmeric in the beans that I'm cooking a lot, because those legumes are something that I eat, and I eat them on the regular. And I've just found that I just have started just like, okay, put a little turmeric in there. I make some steamed vegetables, some steamed collards, some steamed stuff, put some turmeric in there. Make my beans, put some turmeric in there. So I'll probably at least 5 times a week, I find myself taking out that shaker and putting some turmeric in there. I'm going to keep my eye out for some fresh. I'd actually like to get some fresh again, maybe put it in smoothies and do some different things with it. But the reason turmeric is so healthy for us is its active ingredient, curcumin. I forget. I've heard people pronounce that before. I'm not sure if it's curcumin or curcumin, but that has anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, antioxidant properties to it. And one thing I highly recommend with the turmeric is I do this. I use black pepper with it. When I put the turmeric on whatever I'm using, I just follow it up with pepper grinder. Yeah, I use a regular pepper grinder so I can get good pepper out of it. But the black pepper, enhances the absorption of the curcumin by 2,000%. Now that I read, and I'm like, anytime when I hear something such a high percentage, I'm a little bit skeptical of actually that large of a number, but it's very beneficial, and it seems to be a very effective and useful anti-inflammatory. I've heard Dr. Bulsiewicz talk about his father, his late father, who was very tall, had bad knees, and in the last 5-7 years of his life, Dr. B suggested that he start using turmeric on a daily basis. And he did this, and he had a lot of benefit and didn't actually have to take the arthritis medication and things like this as much as he would have. So these are all 3 wonderful things to add to your diet. They're easy to add. They're easy to add in different ways. Let's see, what did I have this morning for the berries? I've already told you I had the beets for lunch. I had strawberry nice cream this morning, and I have a whole bunch of organic blueberries in the refrigerator. I don't know how I'm going to use them tomorrow. I might put some in the freezer, might use it in a smoothie, who knows. And then one other little thing, I might talk about this one in its own by itself at some point, but I'll throw in a bonus one in that, and that is ginger. You can get some good ginger powder in the stores, and I'll do the same with that. Like a lot of times when I put turmeric to season something or cook with or use it, I'll sprinkle some ginger on there as well. In fact, for anybody out there that drinks coffee, I think Dr. Bulsiewicz says he does drink some coffee, has a cup of coffee in the morning. If you still drink it, and I know a lot of people are controversial, they don't like coffee, even they go crazy if you mention the word coffee, but he was talking about how he uses in his coffee every day this little combination of turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon. because you know cinnamon is an anti-inflammatory as well, good for the blood pressure as well. So it's all about these little tricks. You know, you start seeing a pattern. I've told you, I've done several videos where I'm like, I always like to have this every day. I like my greens, I like my purple cabbages. Those are regulars. I'm having my sprouts every day. I'm having my seeds every day, my flax seeds, my hemp seeds, my chia seeds. I'm trying to have things like berries. So when you start building yourself a list of things that you eat, instead of thinking exclusion, like, okay, I got to stay away of this, just focus on the things that you should be eating every day. And if you eat those things that you should be eating every day, probably isn't going to be a lot of room for the stuff that you shouldn't. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you here again before it's over. Peace.